Hi guys, bonjour, hola, my name is Trish. If you're new on this channel, welcome. We are so glad to have you join the community of learners. Guys, I am so grateful for the show of love and I can't wait to see who wins the 1 full year Photoshop subscription. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create this business card. And this is as a result of a request I got from one of you. So without further ado, let's jump right into this tutorial. The first thing we have to do is to create the canvas size. So you go to your file and then you click on new. Now you want to make sure that you choose inches for your dimension, and for the width we are going to, the height we are going to choose 2 inches. Now the resolution can be 72 or you can keep it at 300. I like to do that just so I get a high quality print. So with this set, you want to set the background to transparent, and I will explain why. So with that said, we are going to go ahead and hit create, and I'm going to zoom in so you realize that this doesn't have any background. So the first thing we're going to do is that I want to go ahead and pick up my shape, and I'm going to choose my rectangle shape, and I'm going to draw a rectangle from one end to the other, something like this. And you want to make sure that it snaps to your canvas size. Sometimes your fill is a default, so it picks a color, but sometimes it's set to no fill. So if yours is like mine, you need to click on your fill and you have the option to choose any color of your choice. So in this case, I'm going to choose the cyan, and I'm going to click on the color dropper so you can see the exact color, and it's 1-4. I'm going to actually make it a little bit lighter. So it's 17D7EE, and I'm going to click OK. When it comes to a business card, you can have it just a rectangle or you can have it a little bit more playful. So I want to make this business card a little bit more on the contemporary side. So we are going to have round corners. With Photoshop 2021, you can easily round your corners without going into your property. So you see these little round dots. If you hold just one end and you move it in, it basically gives you a radius, and you can see our 81.0 pixel. So it's telling you the exact radius. And once you hold one end, it does it for all 4. Now, what if you want to do it for only one end? You can. You need to come down into your property and you can click on this linked icon. If you change one, let's say 90, and click OK, it changes everything as long as you have it clicked. But if you deselect it, and I just change this one to, let's say, 0, hit OK, you notice that one end completely loses the radius. This is an easy way to manipulate all 4 sides or just do one. Now, if you are on an older version, you can come back, you can come into your property. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this back to 90 so I have all the corners. So I'm going to go ahead and rescale it just a little so I have it more rounded like this. So with this set for us, we want to go ahead and pick back our rectangular shape, and I'm going to just go ahead and draw a straight line, a rectangle like this, and I'm going to go back to my shape. Notice that it picked up on the fill default that we had. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to choose this red, and I'm going to click on my move tool to come out of it. But notice that when you click on your shape, it has the stroke effect of 1 pixel. We don't want our shape to have any stroke effect. So I'm going to click on my stroke and click on the no fill, and that basically takes care of the outline. And I'm going to click on our background and do the same thing so that we don't have any white outline. Now I'm going to click on my shape and I want to rotate it. So you want to bring your mouse closer to your shape. You notice that it activates the rotation command and you can go ahead and rotate your shape like that. Now, if you click on your shape and you are not able to scale it, all you need to do is press Command T to activate your transform tool so you can scale it. And I'm going to set it down a little. So with this set, the next thing that I want to do is that I want to add a little bit of an interest on the right hand side. So we're going to go to our folder and I'm going to drag this image in. And guys, I'll make the image available so you can use it for your practice. So I'm going to hold down my shift so when I rotate, I get it in 90 degrees. I'm going to double click to accept and I'm just going to go ahead and scale it like this. Double click and move it halfway. I'm going to take the opacity down so I can see where it is. As a matter of fact, I want to put it under, but before I do that, I want to cut out this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a selection of my background. I will hold down my command, make a selection of my rectangle. So I'm going to right click on that image, but you need to make sure that you are on your lasso tool, command, right click and make a copy of your image. Now you can turn off the other one. So you notice that now our image has taken the shape of our background. Now I want to go ahead and move the shape and I'm going to set that right below the red so we have it like this. But now the problem is bleeding beyond the red and I don't want that. So the easiest way to hide it is to just use your lasso tool, pick your polygon and just make a selection this way and just cut off the area that you don't want. I'm going to click back on my image and with my eraser tool I can just basically erase this area or you can just delete and everything goes away. I'm going to press Command D to deselect. So with this set in place for us, you can go ahead and actually reduce the opacity of our image so it's not too much, but we can still sort of see it. So with this set for us, we want to go ahead and I'm going to draw another shape, and this time I'm going to go ahead again, pick my rectangle, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle this way, and we're going to click on our fill and I'm going to choose a gray. So I'm going to click on my color picker so you see it is 737070. I'm going to click OK. Now you can scale this to whatever size you want, but I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to double click on my gray, and I think I actually prefer this darker tone. If it's too much for you, you can change it. You can go with something lighter, but this is 4F, 4C, 4C. I'm going to click OK. Now I'm going to pick my move tool and I'm going to move this and set that in the middle so you realize that it's right in the center, the top and bottom. Now if your guideline, you see when I'm moving, you can see that purple, that is for your guidelines. If your guidelines are not on, all you need to do is go under view and make sure that your ruler and your snaps are on. So with that said, I'm going to click back on my shape. Notice that if I deselect my shape, I still have a little boundary. I don't want that. You might want it because it gives you a little bit more detail, but I just don't want to see that. So I'm going to click on my shape and I'm going to turn off the stroke So we have something like this. Now I want to add a little bit more detail to the shape. So I'm going to make a copy of the red shape that we have. Command J, make a copy. And I'm going to move that up above my gray shape. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to offset it just a little, like this. So I'm going to pick my lasso tool. You can use your lasso tool. If you want precision, then you can actually select your shape and you can use that as your guide, but this is good enough. So what I'm going to do is I want to create the inverse of this. So I'm going to go to select inverse. So every other place has been selected except the gray. I'm going to add a layer mask to just basically hide that section. I don't want to delete it because if I have to, it means I will have to convert the shape into a smart object, and it means that I will not be able to easily edit the color. So I just want to keep it as a shape. So I went ahead to add a layer mask to hide the portion that I don't need. So I'm going to click on the red layer the red rectangle that we created. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. Now I want to go ahead and pick up my shape, rectangle shape again. I'm going to draw one more rectangle straight down. I'm going to change the color to white and I'm going to use my move tool. I'm going to move that and set that somewhere here. And I'm just going to go ahead and rotate. And you see that I'm trying to keep it in line so it sort of aligns diagonally with this other line. And I'm going to go ahead, scale it down a little bit more like that. And I'm going to move that and set that somewhere here. And I'm going to double click. So you see that it has a very nice detail. You have the background, you have the red stroke, you have the rectangle gray going through the red, and then you have this little slip. So with this all set, the next thing we want to do is, if you already have a logo, you can just pop it in. And I already have a logo, so I'm just going to bring that in as the company logo for this business card. I want to click back on our shapes and we are going to click on the ellipse shape, and we want to create a rectangle, and you can hold down your and we want to fill this in. So we're going to choose the same gray, but this is a lighter gray, and we want this time to have a stroke. So I'm going to pick a white, and we want to increase the stroke thickness. Not like that, that's too much. So I'm going to gradually increase it a little. So something like this is not bad. And you can see that I have my circle almost right in the middle, so it's even on both sides. Now I want to go ahead and bring in my logo. So I'm going to click on my folder and we want to drag this in. And I'm pretty sure you're saying, ooh, can you teach me how to make a logo? Yes, that is one of the things that I'm going to show you all. So once you have your logo in, you can just scale it down if it's too big, and I'm just going to set it right there. And I'm going to double click to accept it. I'm going to move it in a little. So this is Quistt Design logo. Now, the next thing that you want to do, if you want to increase the thickness a little, you can do that. I'm going to take it a notch up, and I like the way it looks. So, and oh, leave me a comment below if you want me to do a logo or how to create your own custom logo. It's very fun and easy to do, and I will be glad to give you all a tutorial on that. So the next thing we're going to do is to type in the company name. So I'm going to click on my type tool. I'm going to flip my foreground to white, and I am going to go to my font options, and I'm going to click on Dazzle Unicase, and I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on inside the canvas, the text is too big. I'm going to scale it down, and obviously I can't see it. So I'm going to move it in and then begin to type Quistt. And I'm going to scale it down. So I'm going to click on my move tool, and as I've said, there are so many ways to reduce your font size. You can just scale it down once you have it selected, or you can go under your property and you can scale it. You have to double click first and you can scale it in or out, or you can go up, double click, highlight, go up to the top area right here below your menu bar, and you can change it that way too. So I'm going to go ahead and make this light, and I'm going to click and see how it looks. I'm going to set it right there, and I'm going to go ahead and scale it just a little like that. So it's readable. I'm going to double click, and I want to move it in a little. So you have your logo, you have your name. Now we want to go ahead and add the phone number, the web address, or your email, as well as the location of your business. So we're going to go to our folder, and I'm just going to go ahead and drag in these elements. So the first one is the phone. I'm just going to drag that in, and I'm going to scale that and move it in here. Oh, and by the way, if you want me to show you where I get all of the little images and things like these phone icons that I use, comment below and I'll be glad to show you that in the next tutorial, how to get those things and use them in your flyer. So I'm going to scale this down a little. I'm going to double click to accept. Now we want to go back to our shapes. We're going to go ahead and pick back our ellipse and draw a circle like that. And we want to go ahead and change the color, and we're going to do white. And I also want to make sure that the stroke effect is unchecked, or you can leave it since it's white, and white upon white is not going to do anything. But I'm going to hold down my shift and scale it a little. And I'm going to use my move tool and move it in place. I'm going to set it somewhere here, and holding down my shift, I'm going to scale it just a little. I'm going to double click to accept. Now, when you click on your layer and you don't see this activation, you need to make sure that your auto select and show transform have all been checked. Now, this is true for Photoshop 2021, 2020, and I believe 2019. But if you don't see it in 2019 and lower, all you need to do is click on Command T to activate your transform so you can scale it. Once you have it scaled, now we want to go ahead and drop in our phone icon. Now we need to move our phone icon layer up in our layers panel. So now that we have it, I'm going to set it right there. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. So this is much easier. I'm going to double click, select the shape, and we're going to scale it a little so it's a little bit bigger. I'm going to double click to accept and move my phone in a little. We're going to make a copy of our shape. Command J, make a copy of your circle. Now we're going to move that down here. We're going to make another copy, Command J, and we're going to set that one also here. So we have our circles following the diagonal line. So if I zoom out, you see that we have something very cool. Now I'm going to move this down, and notice that because I have my guide, is trying to help me to keep an equal distance between. So with this set, we're going to go back to our folder, and we're going to drag in the web address, the web icon. We're going to scale it down, and we are going to do the same thing. I'm going to zoom in. We're going to set that in the middle, double click to accept. I'm going to zoom out and go back to the image and we are going to go ahead and drag in this other icon. I'm going to scale it down and set that somewhere here. Not bad. I'm going to zoom in, double click to accept. I'm going to click on my magic wand and I'm going to click inside to make a selection, and I'm going to hold down my shift and make a selection of the inside as well. I'm going to right click and I'm going to make a copy and I'm going to turn this off so we have this. And there are multiple ways of taking off the background, so you don't have to stick with this option. I'm going to go ahead and move this all the way up. And now we can set that right in the middle. You can scale it a little if you want. I'm going to double click, and if I zoom out, you see that we have all three and we are very close to finishing with the front of our business card. I'm going to go ahead, pick my type tool. We want to still keep to the Dazzle unique case, and I'm going to go ahead and type in my phone number. And guys, this is what I'm going to do, the plus sign, and I'm going to type in 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0. You thought I was going to type in my phone number, I tricked you. So I'm gonna scale it down and I'm gonna set that right there, and I'm going to double click, and if you have two numbers, you can put in two numbers. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a copy of this. Command C to make a copy, and I'm going to type in return and I'm going to paste that in. You want to first of all double click to accept. Now go into your property and V over A, you want to close the gap. So it's something like this. Now we can set that right there. If you want, you can increase the scale a little. Double click to accept this. Now we want to make a duplicate. So we are going to click on that layer, Command J, make a duplicate, move that down like that. Now you want to add your address and your location and your website. So I'm just going to fast forward while I put these two information together. So guys, once you type in everything, that is it for the business card info. If you want to add a little bit more to make it a bit more interesting, that's fine. But I feel that with your business card, it's such a small card that you just want to make sure you pass on the information that is needed, nothing more, nothing less. So with this set, this can basically be the template for which you can also use to create your cover, meaning the other side of your business card, which is your front. So this basically is for the back, which has all the info. To create the front of your business card, you can use this as a template. So we are going to make a group of this entire design. And oh, by the way, I know you're looking, I don't have a Gmail account with Quistt Photoshop or my website. So if you go looking for that or email me, I'm sorry, it's not going to come to me, but I'm just doing this just for the purpose of the tutorial. But I will one day have my own website with all my info. So I will let you know once I get it. So we're going to click on the bottom layer and we are going to scroll all the way up, hold down shift, select the top, which selects everything. Now you want to click on your folder icon at the bottom to group everything for you. We're going to double click on the group name and we're going to name this back. I'm going to click enter, and to make a duplicate of this folder, Command J will make a duplicate. Now we want to double click on that and rename to front. I'm going to click OK. And that is it. So I'm going to turn off the back and we are going to basically get rid of some of the information for the front. So I'm going to basically delete all of these since we already have it on the back layer. And I'm going to also take this off and take that off. So this is basically what we have. And I'm going to move this name for the company. I'm going to set it right there. And we are going to click on our logo and the background, hold shift and also select the layer for the logo itself. And we are basically going to hold one end and scale it like that. And I'm going to set it somewhere here. I'm going to double click and set it right there. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom out and maybe scale it just a little bit more like that. And you notice that is in the middle. So this is balanced on both ends. And that is it for the front. You want to keep it simple. Some people prefer very complex designs. I am very minimal when it comes to my designs, as you already know. So this is it for the front, and this is what you have for the back. So if you hold down your options and you click on your visibility for the bottom layer, it will turn off everything that is at the top. So you see this is for the back, and once I click on it again, you see that this is for the front. So that is it, guys. I hope that this was helpful. I know it's very simple, but I wanted to show you how you can create this. Oh, and by the way, in order to save your file so that you don't get a white background around your corners, is to save it as a PNG. You are right if you were able to answer that for yourself. To save, you go to File and then you go to Save As, and you want to find the location where you want to save it. So the saving file shouldn't be JPEG. It should actually be PNG. Now, PNG allows you to save files without a background. If you did yours without the corners and everything is basically a rectangle, you don't have to worry about saving it as a PNG. You can save it as a JPEG and it will be fine, or you can save it as a PNG. It still wouldn't make any difference. So that is the difference between JPEG saving and PNG. So guys, I hope that this was very helpful, and you are going to now go ahead and create your custom business card. Of course, unless you don't have a logo, and you will be waiting on me to create your own custom logo. So guys, till next time, please take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Bye y'all.